All right, Scorpio, let's take a look. It does look like you have a couple of tens here. So you're working on finding balance to achieve the end goal, happiness, abundance, all that fun stuff. So it does look like you've got your eye on the prize, but it does feel like, this is a 5 here, and 5s can be challenges, and they're usually right in the middle of the journey. So this does have a feeling of the old broken alone. It's basically fears, and they could be false fears, because right outside this beautiful window, right in the heavens, is all of your mock-ups, all of your creations that you're wanting to bring into physical form. But it does look like you have some past fears, you have some past maybe traumas that you're going through, since the devil is right here, as well as death. And it does not mean, somebody's going to die or the devil's going to be in your pocket. But the devil is a temptation. So this does feel like, take a look at how you have processed maybe over the last decade. And that does feel like you need to put those fears on the shelf. They are not grounded in reality, because this is really who you are. Scorpio, you guys have the ability to create something out of nothing, a purse out of a pig's ear kind of saying. You're very intuitive, and when you get out of your own way, you can create everything from your wildest dreams. But it does feel like you're working through some past stuff to get to this, so that's good. And this may just be residue from pain from the past. It is really feeling like pain that you've been carrying, a luggage of baggage, if you will, through your life that no longer serves you. So it does, sometimes it requires us to take a really deep, yucky look and muddle around in it till we're all pruned up, till we get sick of what our behaviors are. And that's what it feels like here, sweet Scorpio, that these behaviors, these fears, and these unwarranted negativities are no longer serving you. They may have worked in the past to protect you from pain, but it does look like it's time to embrace that. It's not who you are. It is not who you are. So it's time to really embrace that. Take a look at all these wonderful things that you're really trying to create. It does look like happy home, getting your finances in order. It does feel relationship space too, that you have moved out some of these negative behaviors and you're really ready, open, and willing to connect on that more intimate level. And that can be even if you are in a relationship already. And if you're not in a relationship, Scorp, it could be just opening your heart, being ready to open your heart and share some cuddle time where it never was really a priority before. So that's kind of what's happening in present time. The devil here is a temptation. This could be surrounding addiction. This could be something that you're looking at, a behavior that no longer is serving you. And usually when we make the leap into change, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And this is kind of the 1 step back. So, if you have embraced sobriety, it may be someone offering you a cocktail or offering you whatever your drug of choice is. It's just a temptation. It's kind of spirit going, are you sure? Are you sure you're ready for the growth? So don't be surprised if you get some temptation from things that you no longer wanted to deal with in your life, that you have changed. It's just a test, only a test. What is happening here is the 7. It does feel like maybe, with all these retrograde planets, Mercury is retrograde. Sometimes our words are misconstrued. You can say, isn't it a lovely day? And somebody hears the sky is blue. It's not really what you said. Close to it. So it does feel like something was misunderstood. You feel a little backed in the corner. It does feel like somebody is being unwieldy and kind of assigning blame to you for something that you have nothing to do with. So don't take a step back over the cliff, just take a step back around, and you may be revisiting, releasing some friendships, releasing some behaviors in relationship. Because remember, November is really about relationships, whether it's opening up to a new one, releasing an old one, or letting go of the jive of friendships that no longer work. Has this relationship friendship, has this friendship been all about you helping the other person? Well, that really doesn't serve you. There's no reciprocation. So it does feel like something happened, made you regroup and go, you know what, I'm not growing in this relationship. I need to let this either friendship, lover, could be either sister, brother. You know, you may just need to take a little break from their drama, their jive. And it does feel like somebody is like handing you almost like assignment of blame when it doesn't feel like it involves you at all. So you are growing from this, but taking a step out of this situation that feels the healthiest for you if you haven't already done that. The moon is here. This is the intrinsic stuff. This is our internal stuff. It can also stand for our mother stuff, but this really feels like taking what's inside and moving it to the outside. You may need to sit with yourself for a little bit in quiet contemplation to really figure out with all these changes what your next step is and what you would like to see manifested from the inside to the outside. This does feel like a really bright idea that has been in your space, but maybe you need to gather more information on how to facilitate that, how to bring this internal stuff into the physical realm. So it does feel like you're almost there if you haven't already begun, but it does feel like this releasing of some of the toxic energy, the relationship, the behaviors, things like that have stood in the way of your own progress. So it does look like you're closer and closer and closer to the path, that you are like one stroke away from getting on that path. So don't give up before the miracle happens, Scorpio. Keep going. I know you're very tenacious, very diligent, and very, you can be very internalized. So now it's time to take some of those wonderful ideas, perfect them in your head, and put them out into the world so they can be created and manifested. The Six of Pentacles is here, and this is really feeling like it is about your generosity. You are a very generous sign. You are very generous people, but it does feel like someone has been taking advantage of your generosity. So be really aware and think very clearly about whether that person is just using you. Is it something that they can create for themselves and it's just easier for you, so they keep coming to you? But it does feel like someone's hanging in your pockets and it's really not necessary. So it's time to pull back, regroup, find your own balance in your generosity. Make sure that you're being generous to yourself, making sure you're taking care of the things you need to take care of before you overgift, basically. But it does feel like something has come up that made you really angry, that someone is taking advantage of either your emotional generosity or even your money. So it's time to take a stand, tell them no more. This is not working for you. I mean, and it's time to kind of propel them into their own issues that they are perfectly capable of resolving. It does look like two different people pulling at you. One feels more family and one feels like a friend. So if you need to set the boundary clearer, please do so, Scorpio. But it does look like it's time for you to kind of regroup on some of that generosity. Not give up on your generous spirit, but really evaluate whether this person is worthy of all that generosity, or if they were recreating this struggle over and over and over again and asking you to clean up their messes. But it did take something that really pissed you off to pull back. So, and sometimes anger is the best way to really pull ourselves back from a situation and take a look at it in neutrality and in honesty. Here is the Two of Cups, the basis of all this, and it does feel like you are finding your balance. You're opening your heart. This can be new love as well, Scorpio. Has your heart been ignited? It does look like you are a little cautious. Not that you shouldn't be cautious, but it does feel like you are ready to open your heart, and that you have healed some of the past love traumas or sex traumas, or even physical sexual violence. It does feel like you've been working really, really, really hard, Scorpio, and now you're opening up all those channels that have been kind of closed down and refocused. Now it's time to open up all those beautiful channels and gift to yourself. You guys are so capable and you really take care of everything. You're kind of the cog of the wheel. And now it's your turn to receive unconditional love and be open to what Spirit is gifting you right now. So be open and aware. Don't be afraid to take that step in. Go out on a date, or you know, if you haven't been on a date with your honey in a long time, propose that. Try doing something different. But it does look like you have opened your heart over these last couple of months and you're really ready for some new unconditional love. So it does feel like new love on the horizon. Judgment card is here. This is the 20. This is kind of stepping out of your own judgment and really not accepting others. You may have been dished out a lot of opinions on what you're doing and how you're doing it. And it feels like not necessarily that you rejected it, but you kind of looked at it, digested, and went, this isn't my stuff, this is yours. So if you've been thrown a lot of judgment on how you're doing something or who you're doing it with, it does look like you've come to an understanding of neutrality and you're able to discern what is your truth and what is not. It also feels like your judgment hasn't really been piqued that much, that you have come to either a realization or an acceptance and just kind of going with the flow, and not allowing your judgment or expectations from anyone to kind of stand in the way, slowing your roll. So it does look like you have taken a big step up in neutrality, Scorpio, and kind of letting things flow. And as that has been incorporated into your life, here's this beautiful 10. Well, it does look like all that hard work that you've done really on a physical level, on an emotional level, and on a spiritual level. You're kind of getting paid off for all that stuff. You have 2 10s here. That is the completion number. So you're getting validated for a lot of that hard work that you've done. It does feel like things in the home are a little more blissful. It does feel like there's a little more progress, that you're seeing, you know, some of that hard work of cleaning out the closets, either emotional or metaphorically or physically, that you're reaping the reward now and feeling a little bit happier about things in life and a little bit less frenetic, a little bit frantic, kind of going with the flow. The Death card is here, as well as another 10. So you have 3 10s here, sweet Scorpio. All that hard work is paying off. And it does look like some of the pain of the past that has been brought up. Usually this is the betrayal card, but it does feel like it's more of you've been revisiting the past and getting rid of some of that residue. And sometimes we can only learn from getting stabbed in the back. You know, if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's got to sting a little for us to pay attention. So it does look like that you've used all these painful things of the past for your benefit. I don't feel that this is someone betraying you now. It feels like you have used all of these lessons that really stung, that really hurt, to kind of move on, and you're burying them. You're burying them so you can have a rebirth, and you're right in the middle of this rebirth and kind of like the phoenix from the ashes. Scorpions are one of the most high-flying and phoenix-driven signs, so it does feel like the rebirth is happening right now, Scorpio. It can be a little emotionally painful, so if you need to take a step away from society and process, cry, scream, holler, whatever it takes to release all this stuff, you're right there. You're right there. So go ahead and pull the plug on the rest that has no business in your life anymore, or the people that have no bearing in your life. So it does feel like all the negative, the gossip, accusation, pointing fingers, all that stuff you've had to really look at and say, you know, that really wasn't mine to own. So, but it is time to own whatever you can change in a positive and healthy way by setting new boundaries and really changing the whole. It does feel like you're shaping or reframing your life. So it's a big epiphany happening. And the twos here kind of dictate finding that balance, you know, going from one extreme to another. I know Scorpios, y'all don't have any gray areas in your life at all. It's either black or white, up or down. So it does look like you are looking at really more of the gray area and incorporating that, floating a little bit more, finding your peace in the silent moments a little bit. But your healing has been taking precedence over a lot of things over the last couple of months, and you're truly in the thick of feeling all your emotions, releasing them, really allowing the process to happen. Also, I'm feeling with this, while you are trying to find the balance and while you are processing this stuff, you may become a little physically ill. When we're in growth period, sometimes, well, when I'm in growth period, sometimes I get a little sore throat, or I'm just not feeling up to par that day, or I get stuffy, or I start processing a cold. Usually growth period or learning type of illnesses kind of manifest quick, but they process quick too. So allow your body to just release all those toxins. That's basically what it is. It's releasing all those toxins. Okay, sweet Scorpio, that is your general reading for the month of November. I'm going to throw a couple of these Angels in Abundance cards. This is also a Doreen Virtue, I believe it's a Doreen Virtue. And I will put the information below on exactly who did it. Let's see what's happening. Detox your friendships. Well, Gemini Christmas. That kind of says it all. All right. And cooperation instead of competition. So, yeah, that's what it's kind of feeling. That some of your friendships, your relationships have been in competition, whether you have created or whether they have. There's a little saying here: your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time, so be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with the people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. So this just kind of brings it on home. Yeah, changing your view, changing the kind of toxic friendships. They no longer work for you. And let's face it, you've been given till it's driving you crazy. And it's also been a little bit neglectful of your own journey, gifting yourself. So cooperation instead of competition. What's yours is yours and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there is an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share it with others. With cooperation and partnerships, you can accomplish anything. So if you're hanging around folks that are always in competition with you, always jealous of you, it's time to get a different view, maybe get some different friends, or just release the ones that are toxic for you.